Sometimes people have to go into hospital in an emergency or if they're very ill. Perhaps you've been into hospital. The doctors have to make some difficult decisions about you. Things like different treatments, medicines, and even what you eat and drink. They will always try to find out what's important to you and any fears you might have. You can tell health and care workers what matters to you if there's an emergency or if you're very ill and don't have long to live. This is called a respect conversation. In the respect conversation, you make a respect plan. This is an emergency plan. You and health and care workers do this together. Respect is a way of making sure that your doctors and healthcare workers know what to do if there's an emergency. You can talk to your doctor about this at your annual health check.
Jenny, you're doing really well. I wanted to talk to you about what might happen in an emergency. Sometimes the doctors and nurses have to make decisions about your care very quickly.
About going to hospital?
That's right. And if that happens, the doctors and nurses have to make some difficult decisions.
About how to make you better?
Yes, about how to make you better and to make you more comfortable. Sometimes that's really easy, but sometimes it's tricky.
Why?
Some treatments will make you better and there are no side effects.
What's a side effect?
That's a good question. A side effect is when a treatment or medicine that the doctor gives you to try and make you better might make you feel ill. It make you feel very tired or give you a bad headache, or it might make you feel sick or be sick. And the doctors want to know how you feel about that. Perhaps look at this.
I'll give them to Jenny.
Sorry.
Respect.
Do you remember when you went into hospital with a chest infection?
In the ambulance. I didn't like it.
I know, I remember. You couldn't talk to the doctors because you were too poorly. That might happen again.
I don't want it to happen again. I didn't like it. It was scary.
I know. Tell me what you didn't like. Tell me what was scary.
I don't want it to happen again. I didn't like it.
Understand. We don't have to talk about it now. But if it did happen again, it might be less scary if you had talked about it before. What do you think?
No, it hurt. I don't want to talk about it.
Conversations about what is important to you in an emergency can be upsetting, but it will help you get the right care for you. You will often talk about this with health and care workers more than once.
That's okay. We don't have to talk about it.
Good.
Jenny, would you do something for me, please?
Okay.
Would you take these leaflets and talk to your mum about what they say? They tell you about the respect plan. You can think about it with your mum.
Okay.
That's good. And you can call me if you have any questions.
Jenny was sensible to think about it, even if it was a bit difficult in the first chat.
Thank you for inviting me and thinking about this.
That's okay.
Firstly, I wanted to talk to you about the difference between comfort and treatment.
What do you mean? What's a treatment?
A treatment is when a doctor gives you something to try to make you better. Do you remember we talked about side effects? Some treatments and medicines that we give you to make you better might make you feel sick.
I don't want that.
If a treatment made you feel sick but might save your life, how would you feel about that?
Then I want that.
Even if it makes you feel bad?
Yes, I do.
Right, we'll talk about that a bit more. And I will write down all that you say.
When having a respect conversation, the health and care workers will want to know what's most important to you. Some of these conversations can be very scary and quite sad, but everyone needs to know the things that are important to you and the things that you fear.
I have written it all down with my mum.
That's fantastic. We can talk about everything that's on here, and I will write it down on the respect form. It's important to use the respect form because if there's an emergency, the doctors and ambulance people will know what to look for. You're doing really well, Jenny. Let's talk about something that's tricky but very important. It's about CPR.
Well, Jenny can answer about CPR if you explain what it is.
The respect form is all about you. Your friends or family can help you, but it's about what matters to you in the care you are given.
If your heart or breathing stops, a doctor can try to start your heart or breathing again using something called CPR. The medical term is cardiopulmonary resuscitation.
I know what CPR is. I talked about it with my mum.
That's good. Let's talk about when and why this might happen and what you think about the doctors trying to start your heart or breathing again.
The healthcare worker will write down the information about CPR and answer your questions about it.
Brilliant. We're pretty much done, but we can talk about it again if you like. What other questions do you have?
Do doctors have to do what's in the planner?
The doctors will make the best decisions for you at the time. That depends on the emergency. If you are too ill to speak to them, they will use the information on the form to do the best things for you.
The respect plan will help health and care workers if you are not well enough to speak to them in an emergency. It will help them to understand what is important to you and your fears and to do what is best for you.
Okay, I get it all.
I've written everything down and will upload it to the electronic patient records. You'll keep the form here too. Have a think about where you'd like to put it. It's good to have it somewhere that's easy to find. If you have to go to the hospital quickly, everyone will know where it is.
Once you've had the conversation and filled in the form, make sure people know where it is and it's easy to find. If you want to find out more, you can visit the Respect website where you will find videos, advice and education support.